All right, this lesson is going to talk about percent estimation. So a percentage is a part to a whole ratio. So part over whole, where the whole is always 100. Okay, this is something you've learned in the past. So we're going to go ahead and complete this chart. So what you do is you count the number of shaded boxes. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 25. Okay, so and this is out of 100 square. So my percentage shaded would be 25%. I can write it as a fraction, which is 25 over 100, which simplifies to 1/4. Okay. And then I can make that a decimal, which is 0.25. Okay. Okay, so for the next shaded one, there is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 85%. They did give us that, 85%. It becomes 85 over 100, which does simplify to 17 over 20. And then 85% as a decimal is 0.85. Okay. The next one gives you 40 out of 100. You can convert, first this does simplify to 4/10 or 2/5. Okay. We can go to percent, it would be 40%. And then we can go to decimal, which is 0.4 or 0.40. Okay, so we're going to be converting from percent to fraction to decimal in any which direction. Now let's talk about these percents. A percent bar can also be, a percent can also be written using a percent bar or percent proportion. We can set up a percent bar or percent proportion for each fraction below. Okay, so 1/5. If the whole thing is out of 100, we can break this down into 5 parts. 100 divided by 5 is 20. Okay, so if I'm doing 1/5 of it, I'm going to shade in 1/5. And remember, each one's 20. Okay, so we can write this as 1/5 is the same as 20 over 100, which is 20%. Okay, we're breaking that bar down. Okay, so the next one is 3/4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 out of the 4 pieces. If there's 4 pieces out of 100, 100 divided by 4 is 25. So each box is worth 25. If I count the shaded boxes, there are 75 out of 100, which is the same as 3/4. Okay. Now let's go on to the next page and let's just do some practicing. If I have a fraction, I can get a decimal from that by taking the numerator and dividing it by the denominator to get a decimal. Okay, this is a triangle you can use. So 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Now to get a decimal, since I'm at 0.5, to a percent, I can multiply by 100, which means move my decimal place over to the right 2. So this would be 50%. Now your calculator will do this. I would recommend that you ask one of your teachers or myself, and I will help you with that calculator. And if I can just stand there with you and show you a few times, you'll get the hang of it. Okay, if we put 3 divided by 4 in our calculator, we get 0.75. And to move it to a percent, you move that decimal place to the right 2, which is multiplying by 100. So you get 75%. You should start to notice patterns. Okay, next one, 0.6. We can make it to a percent pretty easy by multiplying by 100, so that's 60%. Moves that decimal place to the right 2. Okay, 60% is actually 60 over 100. This is doing it without a calculator. If I simplify that, I could simplify it here, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 simplifies to 3/5. Okay, and we want the simplified version is what we're looking for. Okay, so if you have a percent, you can simply divide by 100, which is what I did. That's what this is saying here. We divide by 100. Okay, now this one, again, we have 80%. Percent to a decimal is we're going to divide by 100, which becomes 0.8 or 0.80. Okay, and then it's actually 80 over 100. The zeros cancel, so it's 8/10, which simplifies to 4/5. Again, your calculator with that double arrow button will work to go from fraction to decimal and back. Okay, percents will be what's new. 0.25 is 25%. Okay, you multiply by 100. Then to get a decimal to a fraction, you're really going to go from a percent to a fraction, and a percent to a fraction is actually 25/100. And that's like 1/4 out of $1, which is 1/4. Okay. Then we have 10% here, which becomes 0.1 or 0.10. 10% is actually 10/100. Cancel those zeros and you get 1/10. Okay. Next you have 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 becomes 0.7, which in multiplied by 100, which is 70%. Okay. 0.9 becomes 90%. Move that decimal place to the right too. And then this one becomes 9 out of 10, right? It's 90 out of 100. Cancel those zeros, it's 9 out of 10. Okay. Your calculator does work to do a lot of these conversions. If you're struggling to figure out to convert, like dividing by 100, okay, multiplying by 100, okay, or even taking the numerator divided by the denominator to get the decimal. Just let me know if you need any help here working through with your calculator if you're struggling.